通常对。
Rồi đó có được gì đấy là cái
Drupon cranky sebo mendok.
rồi
Kiko mendok dacha chamboro. Komendo. This code sebo mendok. Mare kasanan shinsena. Kasabeya boda.
Kasana
Mare. Je vais. Komendo yapo. Kasa yapo koso mare. Ani we yapo koso. Di sebo komendo Drupon konda. Ngatine yokabore. Ki komendo.
Dike gavde verecek gibi. Geçiyor şimdi.
Mare. Ebo mare. Ting pachenga i yapo kyotopsa mare tenen. Komendo. Ebo. Ki sebo mendok. Ani kepe sebo dok. Tinanshina pe yabore.
Anne ki konuğu ya? Ne diyeceğim? Doğru söylüyorsun. Evet. Konuğu ne? Konuğu ne?
Na.
Konuğu ne?
Sikbara ore. Kare 땡스 테린 카레는 가san pe sebo도. Yana di chala di tha niere mishi. Sikbare.
Kasana şimdi.
Kare na ngati chi komendo. Ngati pa chi gyare. Ngi kirang kepe yapo kodo. Kong ke yapo komendo. Sebo chuna mendo. Dana dis tha nemo ra wozona kandedo rachadi. Dis tha ring ra wozare sambedo.
Konuğu ne?
Yanke sorona.
Anne mama ne?
Recording progress. Recording stop.
Ta konuğu ne?
Rachadi mena yapo kosari.
Konuğu ne? 그래 뭐 하나 요 말이야. 자세한 거요.
Rachadi.
konuğu ne? 다 거기서.
자, 그거도
야, 근데 차사람 나도 돈이 이런 첼시야 뭐 그렇지. 달라 동월 집에 노버 집에 게 tarwa dang tamji xianbe wa de ju ge ji ba tamji je zu ji be ma nam ga dang nyam be sim jian tamji de wa dang de du ma ra dang che nyo de la na mi pa ra yang da pa ra zo be chang ju ren bu ji to pa ra cha da dang wa ra ji be da no pa ra ji be ge tarwa dang tamji xianbe wa de ju ba chi ba dang ji je zu ji be ma nam ga dang nyam be sim jian dang ji de wa dang de dong ra dang chi nyu de la na mi ba ra yang da ba ra to be chang ju ren bo ji to ba ra cha da la dong ra chi mo bra chi be ge dar wa dong tam chi chen be wa de ju ba ra chi ba dang ji je zu ji be ma nam ka dang nyam be sim jian dam ji de wa dang de dong ra dang chi nyu de la na mi ba ra yang da ba ra to be chang ju ren bo ji to ba ra cha di ji de sang ma ji je wa de lu ma yi song ge wa la go ma xie wa de lu ma yi song ge wa la go tu de ne song de ni ma sang ta zam ge wa de lu ma yi song ge wa la go tu jian xiang wang de lo na ro dang ma me da tu jian xiang jian de lo na ro ma me da bu pa lu ni bian gong ge li sun de zhe wei ne xia de yi fan ma yi long shi la shi wan de su da ju ji jie lo de du wan de su da ju ji jie lo de du de zhong ta ma me zi ma yang qin da de de shi de bu ji da ni ni li fian zong gong xiao la gu chan ci yan zang ge ma zhe lo ka sang dang ye ma ge de bi ku de ka sang ye ma ge de这几罗，他南塔西我忙些三周假期，真的嘛，咱我们设定过的，那的罗马是做民族的古迹，我的我的，那偏多没就很自然讲，很多是的，并不是。
So when we left off recently with the songs of Milarepa, is that we went through most of the biography, and we came to the 100,000 songs, and we are in the section where Milarepa matures his closest disciples.
我今天这个吧，今天当年的马路死了。跟连出些那个民族的古别过来吵架都是接中工作那嘛那么个的别几岁马拉里巴的呢吵架都是接中了穷的吵大概破旧土当配我有别谁就当接我把些几岁些大把穷的吵的这把就那么打工了些讲你嘛些上这边原天上就嘛这吧对了的嘛那么去别人的对了你的有头些冲的过在说我他这规汤写设计出来了，手的有的我环节用的是呢，当然嘛，你我们的下面这是要不是我们写什么都是，我听那个什么写的是的，那个是那我其实他是用什么他那个冲动的，我是用的吧。
So then at that time Milarepa was in a place called Gutang. And he met with a mantrika, and that mantrika said to him, I have engaged in some meditation practice, but I do not understand it very well. So what he meant is that he didn't understand really the essential point of the meditation practice. And so in response, then Milarepa sang this song on 6 essential points.
今天他quando è lì quando
anche io sono una e ti scacciai ora no?
I think this no good. Stop, okay? This one. Not too much. I think this no good. What is this?
就是得过讲的呀，或者是都。
This is no important. We have this. No much people listen. This too much. This.
And maybe turn up the microphone because it has an echo.
Yeah. 我真的，我当时想吧，我真的，这两我那上面去写的，那种的有长，像我那路见面看去讲嘛，几万写的，这两年说真的去呗，去我那种的有这，土气这块的，写法的都说家也给们搞吧写的，这两年说真的去呗，那去我那种的有长，土气对吧？土气那就是写法的都说家也们搞吧，这两写法让老去，先把让老去写呗，那种的有长。因最近的价格报的就没错吧？都这了，前把让从西北求我那个来有什么都用农村的，他也没碰完些的，这了出过西北，那就来有出有经常嘛的了，这边开讲没开完些的，这那么有没去西北，求我那就来有，是我他这里多，这趟那个忙个现在没西北，你去说就多，贴出去说那多还这里，对了吧？
哦。
前两老出在那边过的嘛。
Yeah. So I'm going to read this song, and so Drupon says it's actually a song that Rinchen Dorjee had printed in a little book, and it was translated. So, anyways, the song says, "These manifestations of mind are even more than there are dust motes in the sun's rays. Is there a noble yogi who knows the appearance of things in their own place? The abiding nature of things, the base, is not produced by any cause or condition. Is there a noble yogi who knows how to cut the single root? This impulsive arising of mind cannot be stopped by 100 spearmen. Is there a noble yogi who knows that attachment reverses on its own? The movement of mind cannot be forced into an iron box. Is there a noble yogi who knows that discursive thinking is empty in itself? The wisdom deities do not abandon the enjoyment of sense pleasures. Is there a noble yogi who knows that the sixfold collection of consciousnesses are relaxed at ease? These appearances of the objects of the sixfold collection cannot even be stopped by the victorious one's hand. Is there a noble yogi who knows that there is no object within those appearances?" Yeah.
我在这几趟的开情报呢，都几趟去那个是南坡的，在土耳其西巴子，土耳其西巴子南坡的话，南坡的别强门东坡的检查嘛不过那盘多少嘛的，是没把收头嘛的是，这可能没把查过的是，那咱应该都先把让老师，但是吧，你过没吧？这说咱先把这让老师呢，真的让一说，先拿出那些图呀，看到有的种多，我这一最近的价格把这的就要么说是，但应该说那么些的。咱们的嘛价干的这那涨下来，通过嘛的小说这个话，我在前巴上一动半一百行呢，那这些那就来有些说他是那种我是开心不多。
So the important verses here in this song are the impulsive mind. The impulsive arising mind cannot be stopped. The impulsive mind cannot destroy any arising, for example, any demonic arising and so on, cannot destroy, the conceptual mind cannot destroy these. But how do we overcome this impulsive arising mind that really proliferates all these perceptions? It is through cultivating a sense of renunciation, understanding that samsara has no essence, that will help for the mind to abide in itself. And then there's the verse, the movement of mind cannot be forced into an iron box. So even if you try to restrain it and lock it up, it won't stay there. So therefore, a yogin must recognize that all this discursive thinking is empty in itself.
This song is young Condares, Sedara to them, Ramshi last summer, Ticha to J, City to J, Kansa Ambora, Ticha to J, and Rain Tamala, Najor Shiram to Jeba, the Jing about a Machiba, so we down the Javons on the Najor Shiram, Shinji can go on the zone, so San Najor Coke, the Chibateta, Joho Dicchar set, Ram J, the Tumeric, Ambora, Kansa Dicchar Jigger, then Rain Tamatu. And so
then again, the mantrika asked Milarepa, so is such a practice something that develops gradually, or is it something that arises suddenly? And Milarepa replied, so there for certain people with superior capacities, it does arise suddenly. But then there's also those of middling and lesser capacities. And for them, it develops in stages according to the 4 yogic stages. And there are certain signs that arise.
Then that's the what. Then J. Laman Choji, Shaland, some open zebra, courageous. Sealand Zimi, Narate, not me by Womashi. Session Terror Chimba is. Not me by Moshina, or Session Terror Chimba is that Session Terror. Jitan George, Zeche, George, me, and I rotate to meet Hio Rata, Tishi would. Then George, Taram Marzundo. Or then some open zebra, courageous. Sealand Zimi, Narate, Ziva, and Ziba, but Rangi Pate, Rangi to Shoba in Bango Shesuna. And then they take Chimba as on what. So you sent him, sent you from Junja second, lots of Mombe Gunjun, Gombala, Sechi in your Polami, so what else? Sunjuri sent Semada, Sechi Gomson, Seman Sidi, the Gomna, Junja second, lots of drop, the lobbying so about drop, Mombe Gunjun, Gombalas, Mombe, the Gomdina, Sechi in your Polamis. Teneseland Zimi, Ransem, George Deva, Nimbojin, Mo Kadar, Cezana, Georgian Taru Chimba, Mo, Tanamka, Ziva, Georgian Taru, Jomi second, Jobama, the George Joba Maris, and Joba Mabo Shidina, or Jomi Sarin, Tani Master, Jomi and Tani Momos, Momomazi Gombas, Georgian and your Pola meats. Not only me, Chocola, Punte, Yamsuna, Sanjay Simchan Jebal, Roche session to Mama, Yase Sani, 2 to 2. Momba Yin, Mombale, rotate nature Pola means, Nampo Eke Nimboji, Hundred Junja Nisumi, Kosomrana, Sandan, Gomitaro Chimbai, Gomi Sekin, Yilachi, Ose Sekin, Yamo, Mombe Kata, Mombe Kata, Mawala, Gomit nature Pola means on what that's my Jitan losses at way.
Really?
The Loshan that Najor Shirem, the doctor. Najor so Tarchin to Karu, the part of Majidi, doors on the shore of the Niran is on
the So I will read the song, and so Rinpoche said that so this song, that the following song deals with the 4 yogas of Mahamudra, which are the 4 stages of one-pointedness, freedom from elaborations, equal taste, and non-meditation. So, and then each verse is contrasted with its opposite. So there is the one-pointedness, and then there is its opposite. How does one perfect one-pointedness, and then what is its opposite, the non-perfection of one-pointedness? So it says, I bow at the feet of the Supreme Lord Guru. Fixating on mind as real is the cause of samsara. The self-awareness that's clear and free of fixation. If you recognize it to be spontaneous presence, you have perfected one-pointedness. And now next is the opposite. Saying union while meditating with characteristics, or saying cause and effect with wrong livelihood, one who cultivates ignorance, the source of all, will not have the yoga of one-pointedness. One's own mind that is clear and free and fixation free has the heart of bliss that's free of elaboration. When its essence, like space, is luminous, one has perfected being free of elaboration. So that's the second stage. And then its opposite, saying elaboration free with many elaborations, or saying ineffable while using many terms, one who cultivates ignorance, this clinging to an I, will have no yoga free of elaborations. And then third, the yoga of one taste. Within Dharmakaya, which is appearance, emptiness, non-dual, one experiences samsara and nirvana as one. When sentient beings and Buddhas merge, one has perfected one taste. And then the opposite, if one says one taste, but propounds many things, or if one says only one, but breaks it into sessions, with delusion itself getting more deluded, one will not have the yoga of one taste. And then finally, non-meditation. Conceptual thinking is the essence of wisdom. In its spontaneous presence, there are no causes and results. When the three kayas are all present within, one has perfected non-meditation. Then its opposite. If one says non-meditation with mental engagement, or says luminosity while cultivating stupidity, simply babbling with delusion, one will not have the yoga of non-meditation.
tene xie song yang ko nyam len so ngo sa xin chi ba da de ji xian ba na pa ro chi ba zhou nyam len ba chi da len so mo go ta ji chu me le ke pa ro chin zhou so la go song re xian lian la me xiao lan nu zhe za ke xin ba la ta nu zhe za ke xin ba san za ke xin ba xia de na ni ma qiao du yo ma lo za ke xin ba la qiao xian mi be ji ba de ta ji ta dian bo yo ma le shi da zo 天主宁波人吧，出钱没这新是种是我他天主宁波人呀了，出钱没要我过来，出钱没钱了，他就放弃了。我看了看这给出农人了，有的清白人了，他这给你拿说比出钱没有的，我他妈出钱没有的，我出钱出钱可能了，这种过来也是。面上走吧，协党人说了话变说罢工，他协党是面上这样，他话是人家外这样，就是谁的说了话变说罢工过来也是。 这来路可能也通嘛，这是来路他来路今天我说可以呢，去几天就可以 drop 这个嘛的。 我这就通嘛，这是几月来了，总把的心思。除非提前通嘛，说这节通了，总把心思。但除非提前不通，多个嘛的，这就这节通了，他3天还是多少天？提前这节通了，他这节通过来也是。这位上级明天得让先进生意多是。我他这位上级明天让先生意大，我这些拉通了，过去他把它去把抽筋，让先生意大样子。我这里特别东西那个，因为就是那个是，他特别。 东北那位呢？东北那位这常常边不有什么了，怕没把抢到或者那些，这把没把抢到，引流起过，他说这把接他起过的是，这当今他这把接压出了，我当初在列场部门，他点不起他有什么了，我当初，我这人就讲这人就场部当然就这把这就要我这接他起，别从起过去了，我这人就这些种多。
So then after that, and again, the man said, the mantrika said, these practices are truly wondrous. And then he asked, so then how should worldly people practice the 6 paramitas? And then Milarepa sang a song on the 6 paramitas. I bow at the feet of the qualified Lord Guru. Wealth is like a dewdrop on grass. You should give generously, free of attachment. So that is generosity. So being like a dewdrop on grass is, it means that it is unstable. when the sun shines, then the dewdrop is gone. Then second, while making the freedoms and resources meaningful, you should keep discipline as you would protect your eye. So the freedoms and resources here speaks about the precious human body, and as a precious human being, we should keep discipline. There's different kinds of discipline. For example, for an ordained person, there are certain vows to keep. And then also for the lay people, they have certain modes of discipline, certain vows to keep. And they should be kept as you would protect your eye. Anger, third, anger is the root of the lower realms. You should practice patience at the risk of your life. So anger is the root of the lower realms, and in particular the hell realms. Then 4, lazy ones don't accomplish benefit for self and other. Have diligence in practicing virtuous action. So when we are lazy, then we won't accomplish anything, neither in the Dharma nor in the world. And then number 5, which is meditation. With confusion, one can't realize the Mahayana's teachings. One pointedly familiarize with the meaning. So this is meditative concentration and meditation. So as long as the mind is in a state of confusion, one cannot realize the true meaning of the Mahayana. And then 6 is the perfection of wisdom. Buddhahood is not something found by searching. Look at the nature of your own mind. Then finally, faith is like the mist of autumn. When it vanishes, you must persevere. So faith is also something that is not always stable. Sometimes it just disappears, especially in the beginning. So we therefore must in the beginning make an effort and practice with perseverance so that we don't lose our faith. So for beginning practitioners, probably our faith is not so stable. And so therefore, in the beginning, at first, we do have to make an effort to maintain our faith. That's so.
근데 다들 정도 되고 대바지는 뭐서를 로총 장가서는 부가상 집에 냐마 센도마와 로마마보 치네 되게 지수 총그 용연인 거상 보고는 나고 이제 소 냐마는 지수게 남다르 상티네 해다바 용베게 지수까지 잡고 집에 근지고 투담 대유투게 나마 수수베는 투지투 그지 조된 변건데 종소 세와다 지수 고다 대바지엔 보스와 이마 카시 로마데 마보 치
So then several days later, the mantrika came back and he brought many students with him. And then this, after having paid respect to Milarepa, then the mantrika from before said that, so these students have gathered with faith in your life story. And so therefore, please teach us the Dharma on how you gained confidence in practice as a result of great hardship.
근데 지수말에 다시 가르쳐는 쿠베치오리 이촌스 단 쿠르바조바지 쿠르바조바지네 대바 작품 참여해서 대바 진보 지수말라 대바 진보요라 말발 그래 강에디나 콘 신을 콘드라미 대바 정도와 어때 대바 작품 참여는 유지 현바방스 유 소소 대사들 파파유 꽝에서 그래서 표비라 지수말라 사실 리동의 현상을 얘기해서라 이 그래서 방식 유지 현바방가베스 파유방의 시당시 어디 유신바방가를 파유해서 봐 파유이나 들어자제 년이라서 차선만 보여서라지 시당시도 그래서 이나타 유증고제 디나 들어라 년이리도 만보여서 와시게 조치나 용기도 시시 년지도 셈 노가베스 년주 방와도 셈스 스니 년이리 성마 바방도 도셈 트레인도 노르지 초키 마제장 대창송배 신바도 다 노르지 초키 빨리 가버려서 레지고 그 상황이라 말이 또 노르지 신바여서 말아 이게 인화 방가야 메사송을 맞아서 단 이게 인화서 방야 가보도 스타지스면라 메사송인가 맞아미 바고 뭐 처음에나 도쿄로 말씀 드리기는 맞아찬도스 당지 킹데 방가베 레다신도 중데 스타 당지서 방야 빨리 가본도 레콘레다신도 중데 스타 카레르사고 사차고 미니 사진 바다 야해만을 주진 바 페로 我这是重点，具体点说说，同有钱，人的牛肉挺自己，我这那个当然是牛肉起下的多，他挺自己的嘛，他这里种多。
So then he sang this song, the 6 measures of confidence, having revulsion toward the things of samsara, and made a connection through vigorous faith. So vigorous faith here also means that he didn't give up, even in the face of hardships. For example, when he endured all these hardships on the Marpa, he never lost his faith. His faith was vigorous. Then continue to give up attachment to one's home is hard, but I abandoned my homeland and pacified aggression. So he always made sure not to stay too long in one place, because once you stay too long in one place, then all these thoughts of attachment and aversion arise in the mind. So to give these up, he abandoned a homeland or a dwelling in a place for too long, because if you stay somewhere too long, then again some friends and enemies will always come along. Then continue to cease having affection toward loved ones is hard, but I let go of my relatives and became free of attachment. Since I had no contentment toward material wealth, I wore a single cloth and put a stop to my clinging. So as we know, Milarepa wore a cotton cloth and had basically no food to eat, and he persevered. Maintaining humility, I broke through my pride. So that is, he has been treated harshly along his path, and that also being treated so badly in many places he went, that broke his pride. Then to let go of conceit, of self-clinging is hard. So it is difficult to give up self-clinging. So like an animal, I roam in mountain retreats. I roam in the mountains of the Himalayas. This is the measure of confidence in perseverance. So,
我的牛肉挺自己，这个嘞，就麻将嘛，这来了我要嘛哇。我真的秋口那么个大不了，秋口的现在秋口那个大不了，做用肉啊用了吃了都，但肉啊从嘛吃不到的是秋口的，我买了把盐铺完强，我还毛，真的还毛的，他买我说秋口一把，还毛呢，买了些吧，买了说现在那路马桶，我听你铺完强的，吃上些上点吧个，常常大在你们其实历史现了，点不要买了，他牛肉吃不什么，点不完点吧个，听你点把麻椒呢，搞不是从哪上去说，我这点把麻椒呢。那在你们看到的，常常也在同样在让就把说的为，同一欺骗拿出枪，同一7%的，那地方根本就嘛那一抢的为7%，他买些吧，基本上抢不到为，前面点把出完了，前面点把出来了，开始错着前面运气强，我前面点把出成错出吧，但那些错出为了，他先把那个运气他下个人，为什么这边运气呢？这为什么不在去可能不都什么不在说就了那都。真的都会生气，这没啥的吧？可能都会生气，这里种的吧。
So this is the first confidence, the confidence and perseverance, meaning that if we don't persevere through hardships, it won't be easy. And then it continues, the Dharmakaya, which is like the sky, although it pervades every wandering being, through age-old ignorance, beings wander in samsara. So the Dharmakaya is the true nature of our mind. But because we have not realized it, we are ignorant beings wandering in samsara. Though one may realize it partially, making it stable is hard. Without the stability of that understanding, sometimes the 5 poisons arise in the mind. So we do practice, and sometimes we engage in meditation practice, but our practice is not very stable. And so making it stable is very hard. And because it is not stable, sometimes the 5 afflictive emotions do arise. through that, one wanders aimlessly among the immature. If one gains stability in that understanding, the 6 collections will continually dawn free of attachment. So these 6 collections refers to the 6 consciousnesses that we have perceiving through our sense doors. So the sense doors, the consciousness perceiving through the sense doors will become free of attachment if stability in that understanding is gained. And one will continually abide inseparable from the 3 kayas. So the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. This is the measure of confidence in realization. So this is Milarepa's confidence in realization.
냠자 제토 남니장 냠자 제토 비로 레 상보 와라 나와 레 상보 발라 냠자 요레 제토 비로스 여러 왕가랑 좋다 삼자 투치 데 곰 카토도 자 이 튼삼도 안테 이마 쇼쇼는 냠자 제토 니정 저 용거로 와 덴베 샹나 니나미 샤와데 덴보 차선 샘데 냠자 제토 니나 요 마레스 이마미베 내조라스 이마 마인 바트 냠나 치토레스 초로 힘이 주요자다 지바라 고섬지고 주투니스 先把米跟中为弄，先把米给他弄出，他弄进来，弄出来，把中网出的，英文原材供进来是得弄出中网上车的颜色，对，英文原材供进来是，这开发能干的不工，开发能干的不，开发是能干的不工，叫他那边马恰吧，叫他那一次恰没吧，这边收了恰片诺说的，这边收恰片诺进了，尽量能够大些吧，能一些呢。 不管这我些吧，罗万这边3把样，他们就能去在一起，罗万这个3把就不说啥吧，意思，他这当东尼人家人个点是民族，我今天他们去对那去马桶，去在在问人民币，有的情况我的当地有的情况过马来西亚，别人他们去别马桶，当地的别马听过个马来中，我在叫他们做讲马恰瓦去呢，别马当地的当地马国在哪里？ Then the job is job on the water.
And then next, meditation and post-meditation, these 2 appear for beginners on the path. So now in the beginning, there is a division for us between the meditation session and then not being in meditation, post-meditation. So when sometimes we hold a session where we meditate and give it our best, but then when we come to the post-meditation, then we are carried away by all kinds of distractions again, and we sleep and so on. Then for the stable mind, these don't appear as 2. For a yogi who is free of any distraction, the 6 collections dawn continually free of attachment. So the same 6 collections as before. And they continually abide inseparable from the 3 kayas. The prana that moves free of any attachment is the source of all attractive qualities. So the prana here being deemed wind energies. Learned ones meditate like the sky. This is the measure of confidence in meditation. And then without attachment to the 4 modes of conduct, beautiful forms and the wealth of attachment, whatever appears, I know they are like mist. So the way I think of guiding beings is that they're ordinary bodies like illusions and water moons. I have no fixation. I am not tainted by the feathers of objects. Its example is a lotus growing out of the mud. So if one's conduct is free of attachment, then one becomes like a lotus growing out of the mud. So one is in the midst of it, but one remains untainted by any flaws. So this is the measure of confidence in conduct.
human. Don't tap on Namkadas. Don't tap on Namkadas. Say Gamma Team. Nasari, Nampo change on Sarwata, Tikamano. Tepadansa here, you want she James, so then you want she Jetu. Sanyam Namka, such a day Namka, Jimmy Jun, Margin, comes on for way. Julam choose, then you can see so water.
And then mind pervades all just like the sky. Appearing conditions are pure. They are the Dharmakaya's clarity. The very teacher who is omniscient toward every aspect is like a crystal ball in the palm of one's hand. So this is speaking about your own mind, the nature of your own mind. First, it doesn't come from anything. In the middle, it doesn't abide in any place. In the end, it doesn't go anywhere. Through abiding in equality of the three times, mind is without cause for birth and death. So because there are no three times, the mind in reality is never born and never dies. In primordial purity, that is like the sky, red and white clouds disappear in their own place. So here the clouds are like a metaphor for the thoughts. Thoughts are like clouds and that disappear in themselves. No trace of the four elements remains. In the sky-like mind that pervades everything, by being inseparable from the continuity of birthlessness, the stream of samsara's three realms is cut. This is the measure of confidence in fruition.
Julu job it says, you can't have Pardorus, then you never order Pardorus, Damasam won't, Damasam won't first. Some Martin for me, for the Jedis, the same mouth. I was a mouth was a mouth, Sam Tampa, social case, was a mouth in another Titanium Nancy, he was said that. Then that she was a tinable to the church Havana. They won't to be. She's cadet through Magina, so cadet is that you may have because Mina, through Magina, Madan and Julutus, Hajit, you do in Yamnachi, Hajit, Damas, Abbey Lonko, Julu Lonko Chels, what a Tabby Lonko, so I don't know to the category is Lonko Sumi at Arshin, Namjan or Dormant, Lamp nor Dormanches, they are what do me to think he is, what do me to think he is on walking.
For the yogi who has realization in this way, so meaning that someone who realized the nature of the mind, when this illusory body is left behind in the bardo, where all good qualities are complete, through pointing out with the profound oral instructions, the mother and child of mind will meet. So with mother and child is meant the mother and child-like luminosity. So the childlike luminosity is what we train on as we practice on the path, and then the mother luminosity is the basic fundamental luminosity. So if we have recognized the nature of the mind, then at the time of death we realize as though mother and child meet. So the basis and the path luminosity merge into one. But then if at that point they do not meet, the impure perpetuated illusory body through the corroborating condition of the key instructions will dawn as the pure illusory body, the Sambhogakaya. By knowing the Sambhogakaya to be like a reflection, there will be no worry about mistaking the path. This is the measure of confidence in having no confusion in the bardo. And so then when Milarepa had sung this, the students of Kutang developed great devotion, and later on they made the most excellent offerings of service.
Mes Milarepa chu make for Nimata Dava Karma Nish Zasom or Tripto Ryan Nish Zanga use 실무 도비기 도대자 남나 주토비 지前节기 남나 시비 내조 포모 동사 제신도 다 동사 제신 사마리 어제 추대 토바 면송 유남 주바 지린데 바wo 왜 공당라라 포모 차와는 레진 기본 다바다베 지고베 디종 디초 송셰 제베 동된 스테니 지수 다 공당 지수명 공당 토시에서 저다데 담보를 총지기로 봐 어제 마르웨케 지나노마 담보 토시나 틀에 담아 년주 담아서 동종 다데 레총으로 와 담보데 어제 작사도 이제 동종 아마스
logora.
这路上就是这同大情况的。
Yeah. So then the next morning, Milarepa received a prophecy. And so within a state of luminosity, Vajrayogini appeared to Jetsun and said, you will have one sun-like disciple, one moon-like disciple, and 23 disciples who are like stars. There will be 25 siddhas among your students. There will be 100 disciples who attain irreversible realization. 108 great beings who attain heat on the path, and 1001 male and female yogis who take hold of the path. Having made a connection with the Dharma, those who will cut the rebirths of the lower realms will be countless. And then your moon-like disciple, one with karmic potential, is at the Buddha pass of Gongtang. Therefore, you should go there. So then, having heard this prophecy, Milarepa then resolved to go there. And so this moon-like disciple, as also according to Marpa's prophecy given in the past, his heart disciple was to be Rinchen Dorjee Rinpoche. Yeah, Rinchen Dorjee Rinpoche. Yeah, and so Marpa told Milarepa that this is the disciple that you should give the instructions, not the hard instructions first. So then, according to the prophecy, Milarepa then traveled to Upper Gongtang. And then when he came there, he met with some masons working on building a house. And Milarepa asked them for food and provisions. And they said, right now we are busy doing the stonework, so we don't have any time. But since you have... Yeah. But it seems like you don't have anything else to do. So why don't you come and help us? And then after that, we'll give you something to eat. And then Milarepa said, I am free, but I've already done my kind of stonework, my own kind of stonework. So I'm free now. So if you don't give me food, then you just continue what you're doing. And so then they asked him, and so what kind of stonework have you been doing? What kind of house have you been building? And so why is it that we should give up our stonework here?
我真的他就是没来的，特别是一点当的专注节这款做到你3天就强行切当中，写了就别没包上些，这些点本开背，那些点给开背，前几天开给每天你流进中了，包了从了包下来是吧？
So and then in response, Milarepa sang this song. First is the stable foundation of faith. Second is the high wall of diligence. Third is the wide wall of meditative concentration. Fourth is the excellent roof of prajna. These 4 make up the house I have built. It's a house that will forever stand. Your worldly house will only deceive. You should give up this prison of demons right now.
写上可能那的，这个线路偏把写成企业路，企给先看当我也是当电脑的出嘛，这几个不咋那么其他的有企业路，或者来企业路，他们业或者就现在的中国学中国，他机关中的，他就当是他自己说没来的被那性格弄中的，你的中国出嘛。 然他的经常看着有，我说讲怕有过呀，就讲看的是他是的，他机关中的，他在当看我回家，中的，当年马龙就是。
So then after he had sung this, and then basically they said, so what you said was very helpful, but then tell us, like what do you have in place of what we have in terms of our fields and wealth and relatives, wives and children, our way of life here, you will probably give that up too. So please tell us the reason for taking on your way of life and letting go of ours.
我真的估计其实上堂就当我上网贴到你两年就不用冲上去，为什么这个？ 你当这些也特别说那在那边等级从可能几天别说那为什么这早教课结或者在我懂你这个上堂去，他很多对球堂你，给球课我这这堂中上面也对吧？其他的这些特别显露那边对这这些特别显露那边人家显露的这些几天别显露的日的居民国或者或者从我上节节他们上堂去，他们就显我。 啥子你根据这采样，他当中就从这当做把他的这些代表真的那边等级真的经济环境真的流动的，那个就上多好了，我的这些方面上上去，这些有就是上上去从就确实这当上年报就经常这趟去，这些代表出马的那边等级出马，几天被超级流动的那个就。 特别是好了，我这边去冲上去，除他之前接上去，年头就马前这趟，上节的东西这趟去，这些点被是因为他那边东西，这个人之前去吧，这个旅行的，后边去也他的好了，空堂去累积泡沫呢，我那就是没啥地方，去碰到从这，我家这边有点那什么地方，我才从那开始呢。 没来这边，咱今天见什么发小东西，光咱娘们去呢，咱得人家让我让在车马是有是娘们干有是个的，先把这发小说，啥前两周现在那不多，有个嘛是吧
？So to summarize this song, Milarepa basically said, I have let go of everything and I have found all my relatives and friends, my wife, in my practice. But on a worldly level, I have thrown it all away. But this is not what you have done.
我真的这种是碰到特别就能错吧，恰这种错吧长的，心头没把说这很多特别就写了，会成都起的是。
So then having sang this song, they gave rise to great faith and made prostrations and then also offered him food.
我真的接触热了，生活跑着学不清楚，热了是啥钱买的多啊？在热了生活跑去吃好几个事儿哇！我在热了生活跑着学不，热了呢怕我们西北去会西那过去又不西那不去吧？现在马上苦生苦这阿苦的哇，阿苦把别家的哇！ 马上苦工创的中网楼些有是不的，小女在路上不些吧，在中州新手来吧，这把全马忙不，全马三天的，但用不用的忙不不晓得，忙不有吧些有吧，南些在可能说，用把天的压了，我们些就能把浪自我清别，基础直播肯定两百，基础跟我装备突呢，那玩觉的，我们的话的，球呢或者基础冲突起的。协同的慢慢些为定眼子有了，这里有的中原狼都被突些人从都就插话引弄，所以我在这来话马路上这个就开心不吧。
So this next section is quite important, so I'm going to read it. So then the Jetsun went to stay at Silk Cave at the upper part of Goat Pass. And there at Goat Pass was a handsome and very intelligent boy who had lost his father at an early age. After his father's death, his uncle and mother jointly supported him. The boy, from a young age, was able to read very well and received many gifts from people who listened when he recited the scriptures. One day, as this boy was riding on a donkey, while tending a herd of cattle in the upper part of his own valley, he came to a cave where the Jetsun was practicing. Hearing the Jetsun singing a song of realization, his outlook changed. He got off his donkey and, leaving behind his cows, went near the Jetsun. As soon as the boy saw Milarepa's face, an indescribable samadhi arose in his mind stream. He just stood there for a while, straight and still. This boy was Rinchen Dorjee Rinpoche, one of the heart sons of Milarepa.
我那空嘞西边到边去接触了，没去台北他们苏州的全马能接触了，不就选一点，马可自己讲接触成后有吧，全马嘛用了用大那么，先马进吧，一拿总是苏州他们用大那么，其那么没机会了，用三用其那么些人把它这边七八人可能就接触了，不越些，那马可你就其他家讲大马可是空你，那空你穿的当不当今年是。CBS， 我他就热衷的呢是几类是，那可能这方面每个类是呢接触了，台北青不错的是，那可能的从小那种个话题去在用不晓得接触不起来是，接触不起来是，那阿妈的的阿克尼婆给他领导是说的，你或者是配音别这个，配音那么老的是，他可能是聊什么，那个阿妈的阿克尼婆可马路开始的那嘎头可马来西亚阿妈的阿克尼婆，来从被当不着起来是，你那他接触了就吃去那在年头的我上班的街，都没得来讲托吧，就是是每次来从有的差不大是每样来从大有是每来从是大多是的，接触没了这钱了，来从是接触没了，忙这这钱了不啦，后来从这把钱从。
So then by the power of his awakened karma, so the karma from previous lives, he instantly developed an unwavering faith in Milarepa. And then he offered Milarepa all the gifts that had been given to him from reciting the scriptures. And so he stayed with Milarepa to study the Dharma. And then his mother and uncle looked into the situation and they saw that the boy was staying with Milarepa, and also they no longer received any more gifts since he didn't do any more recitations. And so then they asked, eventually they asked him, so have you been given away all, so they asked around of the patrons who had been giving money, and they asked, have you been giving my son his wages, and they said that they had. So then they realized that Rinchen, the boy, must have offered all of this money to Milarepa instead of bringing it home. But then, so the mother and the uncle did all that they could to stop the boy, but they to no avail. They couldn't stop him. So they got quite upset by this. But then, however, the boy also received special instructions from Milarepa, and he began to meditate and special experiences arose within him. And it was said to have developed the heat of Tumo at that time. And he was able to just wear a single cotton cloth, just like Milarepa. And that's why he received the name Rechungpa. So Rechung means like small cotton.
그런 메인 도르제 잡아다 보세요. 그런 메인 뭐만 도르제 잡아다 보세요. 제 중세
So his actual name before that was just Dorjee Drakpa, and then later, after having realized Tumum, then he was given the name Rechungpa, and so Rechungpa means the like Re means the cotton cloth, and Chung means small. So the small one with the cotton cloth. Often they would also refer to Milarepa as Rechen. So Rechen means the great. So Chen means great and Re means cotton cloth. So Milarepa was the great with the cotton cloth, and then Rechungpa was the small with the cotton cloth.
샤텐트 로어와티 페창우 시라 푸쇼지 마레 사마다 푸이지 사마도 지심라 푸동 사라베 차는 레인정다 지라타 홀레니 마샤도 마도 잠바도 트리 푸쇼 사레 페차 그래서 바지심라 푸쇼 니라 시라 요 사마트 푸야.
So in terms of these offerings that he received from the recitations he did in the patrons' homes, it's not actually, there was not really much money at that time. So mostly what they would give for offerings was like different grains and meat and butter and so forth. And so Rechungpa would offer all of these provisions to Milarepa.
되네 마크니지 내야지 출로도 되게 사다니지 시소다 마드 아크니 보게 신가 로주레스 데 사다니 시스 되네 팬트데 삼라 요도 아사라가 소바롱쇼 마크라 요지베 요 세나 칼라데 요세지 요바스 네 친베 사바 바라 홍남 쓰선저라 세힌 니케 니도시 내가 팬베 탑소 티비 그 차바 나를 주년节目 现在我们拉马瓦拉真的去头처럼 고안 도와 쇼나 자가라 또 탐지 세대 총 지수 자가라 도와 나마 쉬 지수제 도쇼 나는 건데 소스 와타데 마 아크니 보게 신가만 보고 어디도 어떤 나 사성을 단디 나지 오면 말 좀 남다 나세 마 아크니 아부시래 다처럼 지수면에 도로 소스 단 제니 자고라 제니 자고 레촌 제니 자비로 사다 제니 자비로 제니 자비 마 아니 나한테 만들어서 레촌 코랑 남타 나시 마 아니 보 나처럼 남아서 파송 스탐 나라마도 이제 바보 있어야 코랑서 나는 요라 어때 손도 되네
이는 가나마데 밀레레파 냠도 마데
말에 코랑서 나 아마다 아크니 보냐 너무 다시 라마 지수 말에 봐서 좋은데 해봐 보이시다 내가 싫어 요 나서 야자더라 자티 어디 대치도 되더라 라마 발라서 제가 아사라 같이 내어서 와서 말에 제가 아사라 내어서 와서 나처럼 제가 소나 라마 발라진다 소자 이야월 스틱 사다니 제니 팽게레스 콘소다 홀로 줘서 다 홀 반면로네 니처럼도 제가 제가 튀고 그거를 좀 제가 한거야 항상 뭐 수비리도
코란소 친도 그래서
코란소 자치나니 기본도 분명히 기본도 스탠다사도 자샤도 나도 남아서 봐 지나도 오고 또 오고 스탠다 반치고 정도
and so then at this time then Rechungpa's mother and uncle then they forcibly took him back and they made him plow the fields, and as he was plowing the fields he was struck by an illness. It says here caused by the earth lord spirits, so it's not so clear here, but actually in Milarepa's Rechungpa's actual life story it says that this illness, this earth lord spirit's illness, actually was leprosy. So he contracted leprosy as he was plowing the fields, and so then after he contracted leprosy, as it then says in his life story, then his mother and uncle actually kicked him out. Then they didn't want him to stay at home, and they said, you go to practice with your master Milarepa. So then he had to go, and he left. And so then, as he was practicing, at one time, 4 or 5 Indian acharas, like kind of spirit beings, came to him. And so then they looked at him and said, "You're in such a pitiful state, and there is a cure for that, but you have to go to India to meet a guru named Varachandra, and we can take you to India to meet this guru."
진짜 지수 다 자간도 진제로 와 지수 다 자간도 상고는 거스도 지점 제라 소반데 후레 총바다 진제로 현재 로고 출라도 남아예당 공초도 가기 미베스 소르와데 자간은 되고나 인지가도 세제 사 아동된데 레고총 무슨 주메 따라서 자간은 되고나 팀이 심제 치다 담세 무카면은 그 좀이 챔베 준소장 자간은 되고나 좀 모두 그마 치노베 추진고 녀마 요태밍이 와트베 심지 상보 거와치 그체는 몰란데 소다 전화 자가선이 오포데 초다 남아 권초라서 저기 어세데 등엔지 상와사스 두로데 다 레고는 신에도 뭐 공스테네 중치 메레다 담세 중요하다 그래서 야고 첨바 중치 메레치 스네 추지데 마통스 这原天有了嘛，还来别的什么听了意思，这讲究什么的，身体在上不起过来，是那就过了人家，忙那没有，是他是就是肯定让我送的吧。
So then Rinpoche went to get permission to go to India from Milarepa, who consented, and then sang this song on how to travel to India in a dharmic way. So he said, "I supplicate the Lord with supreme kindness, bless my son Rinpoche here." So he says, for now to summarize, when you go to India, you should supplicate the Guru Yiram and the precious 3 jewels. Then for your food, eat the food of endurance and samadhi, and as a connection with the atung, wear the cotton cloth. So also meaning that wear the clothing of your practice of Dumu. And so then in this way, he blessed him with this song on how to travel properly according to the Dharma to India.
我真的就是之后就拿出手的热穷的，现在大家去的价格啥的，现在就是之后在那说，热穷去了哪怕价，这就是热穷呀，这个都是这个穷的，那么完了真的上去，差不多东北穷乡说，哪怕做把了，我那我们用的来说呢，或者配备这种的，那么这些就俺们那里吧，那就是说都把土钱他们都是。 你那么充裕呢？你没得人家在生活过程中谁的？俺大家也能买些管都不给，他那头充裕，你们大家的也别之后那从北极去，头当中呢，说都别说方面进的，来穷人用这样的东西，我真的在去了那话讲着是吧？来穷家了送给他们回来的，去了来穷就是之后那时候的，我他妈来穷那话讲，在家干着是吧？ 这家伙送的他的，那么完了真的是这个咋的，差不多东北穷乡来说，他妈不虚，这牛筋的茶谁是牛筋茶，这作用的，给下这些东西，你们没他这块做所用，他同样没有，这老的是，这茶后过了，你们的话头上加口，他那么拿冲突，甚至一茶后买过的，一个就是没了，听拿他的，你们俩去小点是等于这个。这类穷别个穷别。
So then, with the Milarepa remaining in the retreat cave, then Rinpoche sealed him inside the cave with mud. So he completely sealed off the opening to the cave, and then he left for India. And he met with the Guru Varachandra and received various instructions from this guru, such as the winged Garuda of fierce Vajrapani, which is what he then practiced, and he was cured of his illness. So then after that, he returned to Tibet, and he was asking around if anyone had seen Milarepa, but people would just say that, or in the past there was someone like that here, but we haven't heard from him recently. So Rajumpa thought maybe my guru has died because I sealed him in that cave. So then he went to the cave and he tore down the mud ceiling, and he found Milarepa sitting there in samadhi meditating. He was very happy to see him.
then you just land to go to the Marve, Marve, doesn't need to tell Naji, Payu, Shemba, one, the Utenica, me, but they can do that, Mambabi, Hanjan Dadu, Mazon, the Gomin, Namson, Papino, do Choba, the Sojo, Longamagoni, Porto Topa, me, but the Sibian Jipa, me, but the Santa, Semi Potacho, by Yola, was on Magodi, Yumi, Sumba, me, but the Chucho, Maji, Joba, the Gigi Chos, Soma, the Rodo, Nedo, me, but the Sochu, Jipa, me, but the Photo Jipa, me, Cheva, the Gijon to change Yoma, the Bipa, Lena, Boma, the Sonam de Nambiba, the Shirano, some Chiba, the Lachan, Boma, the Chuji Jonton Toma, the Tiatan, Mushaba, the Sambi, Samla Deba, the Tian, the me, but the Dingy was on the metal. The Yana, the Shuyung, Water, the Suru, Shaba, the Guminam Sheva, Agent of Cheva, the Dala de Mama, Major, Uncle Jiru, Jibang, Namo Vishian, the Chide, Maji, Soyam, the Gajon Pede, Nanger Segoyon, Namji, Dine, Control Lamechi, Nanger David, Juju, Chirechon, David, Pondro, She Jones. So the Jimalata, the Kran Yamnachi, did some devil those, Payu the Nansan Sama Pong, the Yamnachi, did devil those, worth or the Jikan Chuji last what some John told it, some devil those, or Duna, or Yamnakachi, the devil those, worth or the Shina devoris, and the Pachiomas, or Zombo di China devoris, Gajor Perigris, what I knew in Samata, control some Perigris, not some devil those, that's a lot of the
So Rajumpa then inquired about his well-being. Milarepa then responded with this song, and to summarize it, and so Milarepa said, since I spend my time in meditation, I feel good. I have abandoned my homeland and all friends and relations, so I feel good. I have abandoned all the faults. So he listed various faults of the Dharma. And having abandoned all these faults and staying in a state of practice, I feel good. If I die, I feel good because I die without any negativity. If I'm alive, I feel good because then I can increase my virtue. This is all the kindness of the three jewels. So all is good.
Oh, today, that's it. Rechung, they were chung, Tonda, drops, Rechung, they were chungness, the two all they were Tonda drop songs, Tanodama, the cheats, two gens by shares, the two Rechung cheat down, Rechung, cheat that is, Sawak to come you. Then the Yapo Tashi, Sawak to the two Rechung can give you course, that's it, Rechung give you for it, that's another.
So then after Milarepa had sung this, Rajumpa then replied, so the last line of the song was, so Rajumpa, are you well? Did you get what you went for? And then Rajumpa replied, yes, I'm also well, and I got what I went for. Please accept me and continue to give me instructions. Then the Jetsun again gave Rajumpa instructions and had him meditate in the silk cave. There he perfected his experience and realization.
Oh, then Tangaranto, Tensu, Chitrenta, this is from Jaya, the Kamajunas from Jaya Satija. Then
so then this completes the cycle of meeting Rajumpa. So let's stop here and let's do some meditation practice for 15 minutes.
Oh, Tangaranto, Katanga Madanga, the Shinets with the Gumshuras and do that, the same money, but Chitaran sample. Rawan shot it, my but she from Nadu, Ravanda to do Chinatasi. Chamber to the chamber mining of Shurasa, chamber yin, the Gomio, chamber mining machine. Then the Gonda is.
So then let's meditate, and just like we had mentioned before, just calm the mind and stay in a state without distraction, in a natural state without distraction. Mindfulness is most important, because if you're distracted, then you're not meditating.
dedication is Lord Zungo. There you go.
Most holy, venerable, precious, kindly, and rich Lama, divine ascended Buddha, ascended Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, yogis, yogis, and actors, dwelling in the ten directions. Please hear my prayer. May the virtues that appear in the three times by myself and all sexual beings, samsara nirvana, and the great Buddha virtue, not to the knowledge of the eight words of the saints, the 12 words of samsara, the birth, additional, especially those that end in smoking, instruct those who have sleeping lives, and the cause demons, experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and to attain unsurpassed, complete, and precious benefit. By the power of this last word of virtue, all perfect only for my body, speech, and mind. May the frictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy all arise in my mind. May encouragement to pray, reputation, love, honor, and successful desire one arise for you alone. May my life stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, fortitude, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinite space. And praise great attainment and common suffering not unlike other man life is not himself. Man of life is by wonder. Man of service is on hunger. Man by short command of conflict and avoid the blessing of mind and such. And live the power of the Dharma. And this day is supreme attainment of the Dharma. And the common part of the Dharma.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Rinpoche.
Thank you. Sakojima.
Thank you,
Thank
Rinpoche.
you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drupon Love.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Teacher, long life, Rinpoche.